Hello, my friends. Recently, there was a group started called MGTOW, Men Going Their Own Way, and they're against marriage in many ways. Anyways, I'm just going to share some clips from people that know about the movement, that are in the movement. But I just want to get your comments on some of this stuff, see what you think. But anyways, pray for them, pray for their salvation. Hoping this video will reach a lot of them. For the Lord, because we know Jesus ultimately should be who we're married to, and then of course if it's God's will we should be married, but if not, then we got to be careful and stay celibate for Him. So anyways, pray people can do the right thing in that regard. Anyways, here's the video. Let me know what you think of these comments and what people have to say, and I hope to hear from you soon. Also, feel free to join my Facebook group, Homeless Advocates for Christ.
Alright, it's your girl back for another video. Very excited right now because I finally got one of those things that you plug onto your windshield where you can film videos and not have to hold your phone. And I just want to apologize for not making a lot of videos lately. Right when I start getting, quite a few subscribers, I slowed down on the videos. Just want to apologize and let you all know I am not going anywhere, and I'm going to start making a consistent amount of videos every week. I've just been extremely busy. But anyway, this video is going to be about men going their own way. That is a movement right now. It's called MGTOW, driving through a construction zone. So men going their own way, and a few people asked me to comment on that, so I'm just gonna say I am not surprised that a movement for men going their own way exists now. If I was a man living in society, and again, I need to make this clear, I'm speaking about Western society, because there's too many little smart asses that keep on saying, well, what about women in the Middle Eastern women? What about them? I can't speak on women that I don't know personally. I don't live there. I don't know what's going on there. I only know what I see on TV, and that's not always accurate. So I'm not speaking on them. They can speak for themselves. I'm speaking for women over here, Western society, where I live, what I'm familiar with. Back to the video now. It's no surprise that men started going their own way. And again, if I was a man right now in Western society, I would be extremely, extremely afraid to get a woman pregnant. I would be afraid to marry a woman. I would be afraid to commit to a woman in any way, shape, or form. I'd be extremely careful, if I did sleep around, to do it very carefully, not get anybody pregnant on accident. I've seen women destroy men's lives with children, with divorce. I've seen women that go out to a bar, go home with a man that they just met, hardly know, sleep with them unprotected, and then the next day feel guilty about it and try to say that man raped her. I've seen all these things, okay? And I've seen women be ex-girlfriends and ex-wives, make a man's life a living hell, okay? And I know a lot of women can say, well, what about, have you ever seen men do this to women? I have. I've seen men beat women. I've seen a lot of things that men have done. However, the numbers are so much greater with what I've seen with women do. So, okay, I'm not saying every man out there is got a little halo over his head. That is not true. However, the numbers are just so much higher when I'm speaking about what women are doing. So I have a lot of female acquaintances. I have had a lot of female friends in the past, and I've known them very personally. I've known what goes on in their lives, and even though they put on this facade that they're good women and they do the the right thing, and they don't sleep around, and they don't cheat, and they don't do this, I'm gonna be honest with you. Most of the women the majority of the women that I've known as acquaintances and, you know, so forth, have cheated, do cheat, and do seek the attention of other males. And that's just, you know, being honest. And here comes a fire truck. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I know that was loud. But, yeah, so that's why I speak about this stuff so much. And in my opinion, I don't believe men and women are equal. I don't think that we were not biologically designed to be equal. You know, in nature, every other male and female is not equal. The male has his duties, the hunter, the gatherer, the protector, you know, and the female has her duties to typically always to give birth, to protect the young, nurture the young, breastfeed the young, raise the young. And I know we're civilized, but I still think that our duties are fairly the same as it was supposed to be in nature, and such as I believe that women were made to make babies. Women were designed to give birth, and we're supposed to be the nurturer. We're supposed to be more emotional naturally, and a man is typically more stronger, tougher, that kind of thing. And that's just how I see things. I think we have our own roles, and we need to stop trying to, you know, as women, I think we need to stop trying to be something we're not. And I think that is going to ruin our society. Not only ruin it, but it's going to cause our species to die out. It really bothers me when I hear women say, we're not made to make babies. How sexist. But that's what we do. We're here to give birth. We're here to continue our species and, you know, do it in a way that our species is going to be stronger the next generation prior to the one before it. And that's just the way it is. It's just really sad that women just can't accept their role. It's like they're lazy. They don't want to. How dare you ask them to cook and clean for their family? How dare you ask them, you know, to not go open up their legs to a stranger? How dare you? You know, those women that are out fighting for equality, they're not fighting for equality. They have equality. They're out there fighting in the street because typically they want to have the right to kill their own baby because they want to sleep around. They want to go and be a whore and sleep around and do it as many times as they want, and they want to be able to kill the baby that is a product of them sleeping around every single time they do it. And if you threaten to take that away from them, they go crazy. They freak out, okay? Because right now with the Trump administration, they're against abortion. I'm so grateful for that. I'm against abortion. I think it's disgusting. If you want to sleep around women, you want to be whores, go have your uterus taken out, okay? Go take you some birth control or go have your uterus taken out. There is no reason to kill an innocent baby that has not done you a thing, okay? We need to address the responsibility aspect. Now, that's what those women are out there fighting for. They want to be lazy, they don't want to cook and clean, and they want to be whores. And that's just the bottom line. And I do not blame men for going their own way. In fact, if I was a man, I'd be joining y'all in this movement. So I don't blame y'all one bit. So that's going to be it for the video. See you back on my next one. What's up, everybody? It's your girl back for another video. So in this video, I'm going to be doing a second take on my men going their own way video. I'm hoping I can clarify some different things in this video, some of the questions I was asked in the comments, and some of the things you all commented on. First and foremost, in my first video, I stated that men going their own way was a movement. My apologies on that, because I have a better understanding of it now. It is not a movement. It is just a lifestyle men choose to live to protect themselves from the destruction of marriage, having children today, committing in relationships. It's men looking out for themselves, not trying to impress women, and you know, not committing anymore. And it's all due to feminism and the fact that the average Western woman today is a complete narcissistic, vain, unfulfilled, selfish whore, and that's just the bottom line. Men going their own way does not affect me directly. A lot of you were saying that I'm trying to, you know, say these things to get male attention and this and that, and trying to act like I'm on y'all's side and this and that. The thing is, I've been married for 10 years. My husband and I will celebrate our 10th wedding anniversary this September. So men going their own way doesn't affect me directly. I have a husband. I've achieved that, and I'm very, very grateful for that. But again, the whole feminist thing affects me directly, and that's why I do these videos. Men going their own way is the result of feminism. Feminism has destroyed women. So another thing that was said in the comments was that I'm a single mother, I have a car seat in the back, don't trust her, and this and that. So I wanted to clarify that too. I never said I wasn't a mother. My husband and I do have 2 children together. I have a son who is 2. He was sitting in the back, and we also have a young daughter. Never denied being a mother. I'm very proud to say I'm a mother. Being a mother is my most important job that I have, and I'm very, very proud of that. And I love my children very much. So I never once said in any of my videos that I'm not a mother. But I'm not a single mother. I've never been a single mother before. My husband and I do not have children from other people. We've never been married to other people. So neither one of us have any outside baggage. It's just me and him and our children. So back to the video. Men are going their own way to protect themselves from the average Western woman today. And I just wanted to speak and say feminism doesn't just affect men. So you men are going your own way to protect yourselves, but I've also had to take certain steps to protect myself from the modern Western woman as well. And that is, I don't have to date them, but there's another aspect to it. I'm faced with the fact that I can't have any female friends because of the way women are today. I have been through so many female friends and female relationships on a friendship level. I mean, hundreds and hundreds of them. And every single time I've had a female friend, she has stabbed me in the back, was jealous of me, tried to sabotage me, competed with me. Every one of the relationships typically ended up bad. So to protect myself from it today, I choose not to have any friends. I stay to myself. I do not have any, you know, like true deep friendships with women. I have a lot of female acquaintances, but I do not, you know, get into anything real personal with them. You know, it's just, like I said, it's just an acquaintance. I don't have any real female friends. I don't have any girlfriends that I feel comfortable enough to call up and say, hey, you want to go to the movies? You want to go take the kids to go do something? I really can't stomach being around the average woman today. After about 5 minutes, I just can't take any more of it. I can't take the things they talk about. I can't take the things that, everything they talk about is just stupid, and there's no depth to it, you know, the stuff that they worry about. You know, I'm not concerned about buying these expensive ass Coach purses and all this stupid stuff that they spend their money on. And, you know, at the end of the day, the only thing that really matters to me is my husband and children, is being a good mother and a good wife. That is the only thing that has real importance to me anymore. Not materials, not, you know, reality shows, not social media. I cannot stand how the average woman today, all she cares about is her social media accounts, taking her stupid selfies, trying to impress and compete with other women on there. I really can't stand the fact that the average woman today has children from different men and will use those children as pawns to control the father, to get money out the father, to get money out of the state. I cannot stand how, you know, women will marry a man just for financial support and status, and, you know, cheat on him, divorce him, and try to take him for everything he has. You know, it's no wonder that men are protecting themselves and have started to go their own way. Like I said in the first video, if I was a man, I probably would be practicing that lifestyle as well. Because as a woman, women are messing me over. I can only imagine how hard it must be to get into like committed relationships with these women. I would be scared to death. And one thing that really frightens me the most is we do have a 2-year-old son, and someday he is going to date women, and I am scared to death that he is going to get a woman pregnant and she is going to hold that baby over his head, not let us see the baby unless we pay up. I'm so afraid of that kind of thing. It's almost so bad that I almost don't want him to have children. I know he has the right to do what he wants, but I'm scared for him. I'm scared that if he gets married, a woman's going to try to, take him for everything he has and steal all his money. I've seen that happen so many times. I'm just so frightened for my children because of this feminist stuff. Everywhere I go out, like if I go to the mall with my kids, or if I go to my husband and I go out to a restaurant on a date or something, when you observe and you see women, out, all you see is them on their phones, like taking selfies and on their Facebook, and it's like that's all they care about today. And if you go to the mall, they're all piled up in those stores trying to buy those expensive handbags, and it's just crazy, man. That's the kind of stuff the average woman worries about. They're not worried about, excuse me, sorry about that, that was the radio. They're not worried about being a good wife and a good mother. In fact, the average woman today looks down on a woman that cooks and cleans for her husband. I can't tell y'all how many of my female acquaintances that have told me something, because when they come to my house is spotless, and I always have a home-cooked meal. I always cook every single day, and that's how I was raised, though. And they will criticize that, oh, I'm not doing that, that's just ridiculous, he can make his own food, he needs to do his own laundry and that kind of thing. That's how the average woman thinks today. Thank goodness I was raised by my grandparents. And let me just say this, feminism, from the very beginning, I formed a bad opinion about women, because the first woman in my life that was supposed to put me first, nurture me, and take care of me was my birth mother. My birth mother wanted to abort me. I think she didn't, because she didn't want to spend, $300-500 killing me, because she would rather go spend that at the mall and on herself. So when she actually did give birth to me, like I said, she contacted the state and had them come pick me up, and she didn't want anything to do with me. And she still, to this day, uses her looks to get different men, and she's always been taken care of by men. She's never had to work or do anything except look pretty, and she gets whatever she wants. But I learned early on that women cannot be trusted, and I've been scarred for life from the very, very beginning. So that's why I do these videos too. I'm trying to speak out on the truth. This stuff is really going on. Believe it or not, in the comments, I have came across a few women that actually agree with me. That makes me feel good to know there's other women out there who do have my views and agree with me, on all this. So that does make me feel good. The ones that get highly offended at what I say about women are the ones that act exactly the way I say women act. It's always the ones that get extremely offended about what I say. That's the ones that you gotta watch out for. But the women on here that actually agree with me, they probably are real good women, because they're not getting offended by what I'm talking about. But there are a very, very small amount of them out there that are still good. So I guess that gives us some hope. But anyway, I hope that clarified some things for you all. If you have any questions, I will try to answer them as best as I can. And please subscribe and like the video if you did. And I'll see you back in my next one. Bye.
Cette fois-ci, tu t'échapperas pas, espèce d'enfoiré!
Je t'en supplie, me tire pas dessus. Je suis pas marié, moi, j'ai une vie formidable.
I just want to discuss some observations regarding after one's life has been brought upside down and inside out, and you think that you are at the worst time of your life, which you probably are at the time, at that moment. And it drags on for months on end and possibly even years on end. When you recover and all the dust settles, you start going through a healing process, a process that you don't even realize that you were going through. From day one, you're stripping yourself down, the elements of what made you you, your identity, What made you were the events and experiences that you lived through in your life. It is your past experiences that caused you to become that slave. All the contact that you had with people and their behaviors, how they treated you, how you reacted, how they reacted to you, your reaction to their reaction, becoming a carbon copy of what society expected you to be. Mix this up with media's strong mind segmentation, whilst in our previous blue-pilled mindset, then you have a deadly mix. There are times when you realize it's almost impossible to break away from that slave mentality. Maybe we can call this the blue-pilled descent. But you've pretty much walked away from being that slave, being that drone. You don't have that mentality anymore, and you've walked away. You've stripped all that down, thrown away the rubbish, and now you've built these new layers of yourself by yourself. You've found yourself. Just like being aware that you were constructing a building. You start with the footing, the pads, you add the steel bars, the mesh. Compare a concrete building with a solid foundation to a simple tent. But then, compare the man that lives in that tent and doesn't know that concrete buildings exist. You used to be that man that didn't know that concrete buildings exist. You no longer view the world and society with the blue pill glasses that were forcefully put on you without your consent. You see the world now through these eyes that see truth and see things for what they really are. You've moved on and you may be isolated. You may feel isolation and you may feel lonely. But when you remember the bad days, those bad days that you lived as a slave for that person, just being a drone and nothing but a mere utility, and you compare the isolation that you're living through now to what you were and how you were living whilst you were being a slave, you take that deep breath. And what it is nothing but a breath of fresh air, and you hold it momentarily and you release that breath. You remember the abuse that was inflicted upon you, the hurt, the pain, and yet the attempts of shaming never cease so that they can draw you back to that hell. No way. Take a deep breath again and compare the two situations. The choice should be easy, should it not? You realize that this is the pinnacle of your life. This is beauty. This isolation is heaven. Sometimes it may feel like hell, but hey, nothing can be compared to you losing what you love most. The innocent and helpless that were forced to be away from you and you away from them. You've been there. That is hell. That fire rages and hurts more than any flame could. You've tasted that bitterness and nothing could ever be as bad. With every step that you take as you walk away from this hell, the better and more fruitful your life becomes. This is the real heaven, the heaven that we can touch, smell, taste and see, where this is as good as it gets. No one can hurt you anymore. You're above everything. You're one with the universe, above everything in the sense where you're above all these materialistic things, above and beyond where people can hurt you. You see the bigger picture. You are the bigger picture. You've left from being behind these bars that were put in front of you. Since the day that you were born, you didn't see them. They used to be these bars that restrict you. They use these verbal bars of legislation to control you and keep you away from what you wanted to protect. These bars were invisible, and then you saw them. Then you broke them down, tore them down like a red hot knife going through butter. You're flying like an eagle now. You see everything for what it really is. You're disinfected. You see these vessels around you and you realize that this is nothing but a virus. These emotional vampires just there to extract utility, like mosquitoes that are looking to draw blood, and you've sprayed on the Aerogard. You knowing what vampires are about is that Aerogard and how you defend yourself from that. Disinfecting yourself is caused by going celibate, not wasting your energy. When you're celibate, you have cleansed yourself. You don't require any more dopamine hits, because when you associate yourself with these vessels, all it is, you pretty much putting yourself in this perpetual motion. This forever lasting need of validation without you even knowing it. You need that hit of drugs. It's like you smoking weed, taking heroin or cocaine or anything like that. It's the same thing. And you need to go back to it. You need to take that hit because you need that rush. But when you block all of that out and you've got the error guard sprayed on you properly, thoroughly, more resilient than ever, then you can truly become one with the universe because you've disinfected yourself. You don't need it. That's it. You're clean. You walked away. You're on top of that mountain looking down on everything. You take in that deep breath of fresh air and you say to yourself that you were so grateful for this isolation. I'm not lonely. It's just that sometimes I thought I was lonely, but I'm not really lonely. I like this isolation. I'm connected to the universe. It may be tough at times, but it's rewarding in multiple ways, including financial, because you don't have some leech pretty much hanging around you just to take everything away that you've worked so hard for. You don't have somebody always buzzing in your ear trying to control your life. You don't have that threat where if you don't do exactly as they ask, then they can call the police to remove you from your own home. But it's much more than that. You realize that you have so much more space, not only in the physical realm, but even space within the mind. The mind is property. It may be difficult to describe or even understand, but one has mind space consumed within hurricanes of turmoil and cyclones of abuse. There's no anchor with a frame of mind like this. Without these problems, a man realizes how vast the 3D space in his mind actually is. It takes him to a different level of understanding. With that also, understanding that the universe is actually greater than what he thought in the beginning. His mind is a part of the universe, is it not? He has that much space in his mind that now he has room for filling in that space with intellectually stimulating conversation with friends that can reciprocate. He has space to allow it be absorbed by the beauty of casting out a fishing line, not concerned about whether or not he catches a fish, but possibly just to gaze at the stars in amazement, taking in that deep breath of fresh air and appreciating what is in front of him. It's about you now. It's about survival, and it's easy because you've disinfected yourself. Breathe easy.